Grandpa. Tonight we are talking to Stay Bad Danielo, episode 192. And we are going to be screaming. We're going to be screaming live. We're going to be streaming live over here.
It's Halloween. Screaming live sounds good.
I like that. Maybe we should do that more often.
They don't. We all have those moments.
That's me.
And you're spinning.
Screaming live. All right. So everybody, welcome everybody. My name is Sean Symons, PPG Grandpa. Welcome to ClearProp TV, part of Run to the Sky nonprofit. This is our nonprofit paramotor podcast. How cool is that? And you can find us at paratalk.org. Tonight, we're going to be talking with Danielo from Stay Bad Paramotor. But before we get to him, our amazing guest, we're going to say hello to everybody on the panel. We got Scuba Steve. He's munching down on something. What's up, buddy?
Just some ice.
No, just some ice. That's
Stay
good.
Bad ice.
Ah, there we go. Stay Bad Ice. We got Stay Bad Ice going. And you're going to be looking for the questions in the super chat. So tonight, if you have any questions, make sure you at Scuba Steve or at Will Fly and let them know that you got some questions. So welcome to the show, Scuba Steve. Glad that you're here. We also got our very own Linda Anderson, Paramom USA from paramomusa.com with her pom-poms. What's up, girl? Good to see you.
Hi, welcome everybody. Welcome my awesome guest. Daniel's in the house. Woo, woo, woo. It's going to be a great show tonight. So y'all just grab your snacks and your comfortable chairs and all that good stuff and kick back with us because it's going to be a good Monday. Thank you all for joining us tonight. My panel, my chatters, my viewers, everybody out there on Monday.
And I see the got the Stay Bad shirt. You got the Stay Bad hat too. I see that.
Yep.
Good deal.
All for you. Stay bad. Stay
all
bad.
Right. Stay bad. We also got our very own Butch Fly from Run to the Sky, our director of operations. What's up, Butch Fly?
What's going on, guys? Excited. Can't wait to get it going. Ready to learn something new.
I always learn something new over here at ClearProp TV. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Butchfly, for being with us tonight. We also got Jim from Canada, the only place I know that has maple syrup smelling money. Stop him anywhere that you see him and ask him for $100 bill. It smells like maple syrup. What's up, Jim?
Syrup's up.
Get it.
Got the money hat on.
Yeah,
there you go.
Woo, got that money. Now, you are also our official sponsor over at geriatricPPG.com. Tell us a little bit about that. And I hear that you can get, 10% off if you mention somebody's sexy?
Sexy grandpa. If you mention him, you can get 10% off any of your printing. Oh, look at all those hearts. Oh.
It's sexy and you know it. All right. Thank you so much, Jim. Appreciate you. Make sure you go over to carepp.com for all your printing needs. There's a little QR code. So go ahead and hit that QR code and use that PPG Grandpa for that 10% off. We've also got Will Fly from willflyppg.com. What's up, big guy?
What up? What up? Good to be here. Monday night's my favorite show.
And you also have just a tip, 13 coming out?
13.0 will be coming out shortly. No date set yet, but I'm working on it. Yeah,
sometime next year, right?
Who knows? You can check out the other Just the Tip videos though by looking up Will Fly on YouTube or just going online willflyppg.com. Take you right there.
.com. I love it. So it's not about me. It's not about our panel tonight. It's all about Danielo from Stay Bad Paramotor. What's up, Danielo? Good to see you, buddy. It's been a while since we've seen you on the show, man.
I know, quite a while. I've seen you guys before, lately, but yeah, it's been a while. We've been talking together. Super excited to be here. Thanks for inviting me again.
Absolutely. It's like you get younger every time I see you. How is that even possible?
I wish another year passing by. It's almost time to get a year older. It's coming up.
I think it's the California sun, dude.
Probably. I don't know. It's just too much excitement in life, I feel like.
Absolutely. Now I got a Stay Bad shirt. Paramount has a shirt. Yeah, this is a shirt. That's Grandpa's thinking.
The new style shirt.
Wow. This is a Stay Bad hat. Hello, everyone. And look at Linda. She has a Stay Bad hat also. And we also have a Stay Bad paraphernalia on here. Oh, Daniela does. How about that? So what's
He
Stay
does.
Bad, man? I guess for people that don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into paramotor, and what's Stay Bad?
All right. So if I can make a long story short, Stay Bad wasn't initially for paramotor, for my school. I used to be a dancer professionally for many, many years. I mean, pretty much my whole life. Moved here to the US in 2011. I was touring for about 6 years. You know, like it was awesome. 54 countries, performing and teaching workshops. I used to train instructors in like whatever they had a school that was opening somewhere around the world. Some school will hire me to train the instructors. So I trained those kids for probably 6 months in Austria, and they made a book about me saying I was bad, born a dancer. And so it's a whole book about like pictures from my training with them back when I was in Austria. And so we call it, they told me Stay Bad, stay born a dancer, right? Fast forward years later, I'm thinking about, getting into opening my school. And I'm like, I want to keep the Stay Bad because I love the whole like double meaning. Stay bad means something, it could be something negative, but it really isn't at all. So I'm like, I'm switching from dancing to flying, and everybody was like, hey, but what do you even do? What's your career choice? I mean, you go from dancing to flying and you become an instructor, you open a paramotor school. And one of my friends was saying like, it was hard to define. And then we're like, oh, how can we keep like bad? And then, the whole idea of like switching career stuff beyond any definitions. So, because they couldn't define what I was doing technically. They knew me as a dancer for my entire life. And then I decided to switch into paramotoring. But how did I get into it? Obviously pretty cliche, right? I saw Tucker going to McDonald's. That's like, you never, but then from there, I was like, oh, that's a good idea. And as much as I loved it, I didn't have enough money to do it. Well, I mean, you kind of maybe have an idea already, but I went on Craigslist, started looking for paramotor gear. Was the minimum knowledge I had, which is close to zero. Now that I know better, and then I found the motor on Craigslist. When I found it, I found it on Monday morning, I went, picked it up. It was a Minari 180. It was a mini plane frame, and I found the glider. It was a APCO Prima 4 from 2015 or 2014, very old glider, 27 meter, way too big for me. I bought a cheap helmet from China. Like I pay $100 for it. Spent 6 months watching videos, trying to learn as much as possible. And again, I didn't have the money. Kept asking around if I could have some help. Nobody wanted to help because they didn't want to be liable. Like, oh no, you're gonna self-train. Well, I can't be liable for that. So it was literally a dead end because I didn't have the money. I wanted to do it. I had the gear at this point. So I was like, all right, I'll just push. And then 6 months later, after practicing, hours and hours of ground handling, I remember blaming the whole world for not being able to kite, which now I look at the videos like, oh my God, that was so me. I was like, this was my fault. And this was my fault. It was never anything else but me or a location choice and so on. And eventually I was on the forum and I saw, Daniel was like this guy a good friend of mine now from Atascadero in California. And I was like, hey, I already flown, can I come with you? Can I join you guys and fly with you guys? And my first flight, which he didn't know was my first flight, and I have the video on my YouTube. It's like a steep hill. It's like the site you don't even have 20 feet of runway. It's like a steep hill, winds, like little windsock streamers going from everywhere. Those guys have 10 years of flying and I'm taking off from there. The only reason why I took off is because I ran out of space and it's just drop. That's the only reason why I did take off. And then I'm buzzing around. And then as I'm coming back in, by mistake, I pressed the kill switch and he sees me going down. Like, you can hear him on the radio screaming, no, 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 no. And I just crashed. Well, crash landing is a big word, but technically it is a crash landing because I wasn't planning on landing. Full flared, and it was super soft mud. Didn't hurt myself, didn't break my gear right after it went back and took off again. But that was my first experience. Took a while, didn't know what I didn't know. But yeah, here I am years later, and then got all my cert, got all my training, was Epic Paramotor later on, which was such a blessing to be able to kind of have a different insight. And then running the school for about almost 3 years now, 3 years, 4 years, something like that. Like it's probably gonna be the 4th year now at this point, I think, if I'm correct. But yeah, great experience and amazing learning curve from starting from where I started to where I'm at today. It's very humbling to see how much there's to learn and how much more there's to learn.
There is so much to learn. Even when you're an instructor, you are always a student. Definitely. We have a bunch of people in the super chat right now. And Will Fly, is there anybody that has asked any questions?
Actually, yeah, Tony Marzano wants to know if Danielo can moonwalk. And
Yes, he
I
can.
said I bet he can, but we'll ask anyways.
Yeah, I can. This is one of the things that I'm still like that I still can do easily. A couple nights ago, I was at the studio. There's a gym or in the complex, the apartment complex I live at, and they have a yoga room, which is like there's a mirror, it's a big dance studio, and I go there, just to practice some dancing and just have some fun. And I was doing all the acrobatic stuff that I used to do back then when I was touring. God, that's not the same. It's like when I was in my early 20s, like, I was used to do tumbling and acrobatics, like, all this crazy like backflips and, all the stuff, call it. Oof, I went back at it for a night and I regret it for the next 5 days. I was like,
What I want to know, and it probably hasn't happened to Danielo yet, is what does it look like on the ground if you're flying and an earthquake happens? You're in California. I mean, has it not happened? And you've been flying and all of a sudden the ground starts shaking and you're like sitting still?
it happened when I was at home, like one time I was laying down and I felt it, but it wasn't like, I thought it was cool. I mean, obviously it's nothing cool about an earthquake, but experiencing the first, like, oh my God, it was legit an earthquake. But I feel like where we fly, I don't think we would see something, right? Because unless you see actually like, I don't think you would see, right?
I don't think you would either.
I mean, if it's a very bad one and you probably see things collapsing, but I don't think you would be able to tell. Or if you're flying around downtown LA, which you probably get shot, I mean, you probably get, like chased down.
Yeah, that would be bad over there.
Before you get the chance to even explore anything.
Interesting. Will Fly, is there any other questions in the super chat?
Matt Sloper would like to know, have you had any major collapse with PPG? Any major collapses?
Intentionally, yes, when I was doing, during SIV, but no, when I was practicing some stuff, with my motor after SIV, yes, but it was kind of like, it was intentional, but unintentionally, just like flying, I've got some bad flights where I regretted flying, being up in the air, regretted big time. I was like, why? Like, how stupid was I? And I could have predicted that, but no. Tip collapsed it really quick, but other than that, no, nothing crazy or nothing too scary.
Cool. Okay, that's good. Any questions for Danielo on the panel before we move on?
Does Danielo fly any trikes at all? Well, yeah, you do tandems. Well, I mean, I've seen you do foot launch tandems. I don't know about trikes though.
So not trike yet. The main reason why I don't do trike yet at this point is because, I live in LA, first of all. I'm planning on like moving to, buying a house next year. So I don't have the space. I have to store already the school motors, all the gliders. I have like, I don't even know. I probably have 12 gliders at this point because of the school, and it just takes so much space. So, I have a garage, but still it's just, that's the main reason why I'm not into trikes yet. But I also reduced doing tandem foot launch just because of it's just so much variable around it that you can't control with new, passenger and new students. It's a very tricky thing to do. Unless I go to Southern Sea, then I have no problem doing foot launch, as long as the conditions are good. But I've learned, through the past year, almost 2 years doing foot launch now, tandem, it really isn't worth the risk, especially with what happened lately. I mean, I'm sure you guys are aware, it was a trike accident, which obviously there's a lot of variable around it, but the responsibility around it is so big that it kind of like pushed me out of the tandem foot launch at this point. I still do it here and there with people that I really know and trust, with how they, what they have to do to make it a safe experience. But yeah, no trike yet, but it's gonna happen. It is gonna happen.
Well, all right. Yeah, and at the beach, really, what's the use of a trike? I mean, you have beautiful laminar wind, you can reverse all day long, you can probably fly all day long. At the beach, how long can you fly? I mean, if you take off in the morning, can you fly all day?
We can fly all day. There's days, especially on Sunday, that's the day we kind of aim for. We go to a place, to the beach, and we camp. We have our tents, we bring kids, like the family comes by. I mean, everybody comes and we just hang out all day. We fly, we go for a swim. Some people go surfing, paddle boarding, and we fly all day from early morning to sunset. So we could do sunrise to sunset easily without a problem.
I had a question. I was wondering the difference between flying at sea level and then flying at, say, Apple Valley, Utah. How did you feel the difference was? Which was like 5,000 feet.
I mean, well, I'm going to tell you, the number one for me, the most traumatized, like trauma is the cold. For me, if it's not 70 degrees, I feel like I can't handle life. Well, maybe because I'm from Brazil and it's hot over there, and I like when it's hot. But number one is the temperature, which is, it makes a big difference. It really does. It's like people think it's funny, but it really does. When I fly at 70 degrees, I never fly with gloves. And then for the first time, you have to start flying with gloves. Everything feels different. I have my brake toggles right here on the, my two little fingers right here. And with big gloves, you can't feel anything. Like everything feels different. The takeoff wasn't that much different, I would say. The main issue for me is, was the switchy winds. If you remember, Jim, it was like 1 second you take off this way, and then 10 seconds later, bam, 180. And then you have people crossing from every single direction. And a lot of people pay attention, but equally, as much as 50% of the people pay attention to what's happening, some people just watch the first two taking off, and in their head, they're taking off this direction no matter what. And it creates a lot of, so no, honestly, there was not a big difference. I don't think there was a big difference. Takeoff is a little bit longer. You can feel that, but it wasn't like, so different. It wasn't crazy for me. It was more the switchy winds and the whole dynamic of like having 20 people like all over the place. You're like, oh, is it taking off like coming towards me, or they start towards you and they do a complete like 90, like 180 degrees and they finish taking out the other way. But yeah, no, it wasn't. And in the air, it didn't feel like any different. I don't have a lot of experience flying there, but like for the past, during the flying every day, no, it felt great. It felt great.
Cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, we do a lot of 90 degrees takeoffs inland. Butch did one the other day. I did one, was it today? Yeah, I did one today. The wind was coming this way, that it switched 90 degrees as I was taking off. It happens all the time inland, which comes to my, I guess, a question. Do you have anybody that comes from inland to you to train on the beach, and then they go back inland and call you and say, I can't do a forward inflation. How do I fly inland? Has that ever happened to you?
No, it hasn't happened. Now, the thing that we do all the time is make sure we have both conditions. Most of the training, it's really is at the beach, which is like reverse condition, but we do have like every morning when we start training, it's always no wind at all. So they do practice completely like dead, like no wind at all, like launch. So forward, so they practice forwards like quite a lot. Now, of course, there's a huge difference between doing your first flight when you only have like the reverse condition. They feel super confident. Oh my God, the takeoff was so easy. I'm like, well, wake up call is gonna come when you have a 0 wind launch or landing. Everything is a lot different. And until you get to experience those stages, so they're aware that even if they don't get to practice as much as no wind, that difference and what it takes to kind of make up for like the no win situation. But I haven't had anybody just coming from one place going to the other. I've had people from Texas, from Nevada coming, like different state. Not a major issue. It's always the same thing, when they're on their own, it's more about the stress about being by themselves, and just having to do everything, alone. But no, luckily not. We're trying really to focus on every aspect, not just the reverse, because the reverse, we all know once you comfortable with the kiting, like it's just an easy takeoff, and really there's a lot of space for margin for error on your landing as well because of that the headwind that you have.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. Danielo owns a school, Stay Bad Paramotor, over in California, and he has graciously given us a bunch of things to give away today. So let's go ahead and show you the cool things that we have. We have, wow, look at this. We got hats, we got stickers, we have what do you call these things right here? The
volumes, beanies.
Beanie, that's it. Beanies, that's it. And you got some t-shirts and looks like a Stay Bad.
That's a riser bag. Yeah, riser
I
bag.
like that a lot. It's I guess that's embroidered.
Yeah, it's a broader. Yeah.
Oh man, and some bands too. So we're gonna be giving away some stuff tonight. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you at Will Fly and let them know that you're here, because in about 10 minutes we're gonna be giving away some really cool stuff from Danielo's Stay Bad Paramotor School, which is really awesome. Tell us a little bit about the school and your URL, the phone numbers. How do we get up with you if we want to check out your school over in California?
Well, I mean, so the website staybadparamotor.com. On YouTube, if you type Stay Bad Paramotor, you'll find it right away. Same for Instagram, Stay Bad Paramotor. If you want to talk to me, same thing. You go on the website, on Instagram, and you have a link to click and to have, you can text me or call me directly, email me. It's all around Stay Bad Paramotor, so you can't get lost on that. If you want to come and hang out with us, more than happy. We have, all those class days, because the training, most people know, but it's one-on-one until you get to your first flight. And after you graduate with your first flight, your few first flights, then it's only group classes. So generally speaking, the entire week is just class one-on-one with students, and then weekend group classes with a bunch of older students that have been there for like 3 years since the very beginning. They still come to class. They're autonomous completely, but they still come because it's enjoyable to fly with other people. It's also really good to see new students watching older students do their thing. It's kind of like a whole learning process, and you build a community. We're all very good friends now, which is a great thing to have, especially when you're building a community of like within that hobby, and you become friends, and we know each other's kids, and like family. It's a very cool dynamic. Let's put it this way. We really enjoy kind of like hanging out with each other.
What's your ratio? I mean, like, do you train 1, 2 students at a time, 3, 5? Do you have other instructors that work with you so that you can do more, or how's that work?
So the biggest group I will do is 2 students at the same time. So I have a group of friends, Wesley and Garrett. They wanted to train together, so I train them, together. And the way structure is pretty easy. The way I kind of break down everything is just like I have one doing something, and then the other one is just kind of alternate. If I was to do a bigger group, which I don't think I will, because it's not even about numbers or about the money. It's just because it really is fun to be able to focus on one thing, and then you deal with one mistake at a time. And when you have a group, I feel like it's very tricky, because even if you have different instructors, everybody goes at a different pace. Everybody likes a different style of being instructed and so on. So I feel like it's easy to have, but like I have the average is 1 to 4 students at the same time, but not at the same time, if that makes sense. So let's say for this month, I'm training 3 students, but they have their own class, their own separate class each day. So I'm going to have a stack of 4 hours with one student, and the classes can be from 2 to 8 to a full day, depending on how long the student can handle. If it's a no-win day, I don't have any students that's going to last 8 hours doing forward launches, right? So I kind of like break that down in a way that makes sense. Now, if I do have students that are a little bit ahead and they want to come by and hang out with whatever student I'm working with at the time, they can join. My focus is still on whatever student is booked at that time, but they still get that time to kind of explore and learn, practice more, since I do have the gear available. But the average is 1 to 3. That's a number that I like to have. And they take, a lot of students take about 4 days to do their first flight. And then after that, it's just they pass into like the whole group classes portion, which is on the weekend. So, kind of roll it this way. I keep it really, I don't want to be too busy, because then it's like, it's mentally draining, when you have to kind of, go over the same thing and make sure it takes a lot of patience to teach in general. So I want to keep a balance where I can fly, versus when I first started the school, I was just teaching every single day, like no space for myself, for flying. And I had stopped completely, I would barely fly, because my students will go fly on the weekend. I'm like, oh, I can't come because I have class. So now I kind of balance it out where I can do a little bit of everything. So I try to keep it not too crazy, but, still enough to keep myself busy.
That's really interesting. We are going to spin the spinny wheel in about 5 minutes. So if you haven't at Will Fly already, make sure you say hello to Will Fly so we can put you on the spinny wheel of Winnie Things. Before that, I guess we have about 5-6 minutes. So Will, is there any other questions in the super chat before we go on?
Yeah, there was one from James. He wants to know, I guess you promote the Sky Engine. He wants to know if you've been able to switch someone that flies a Moster over to the Sky Engine.
Well, I mean, I haven't switched anybody, to put it this way, but I have David Northrop. I mean, he used to fly a Moster, if I'm correct, and he flown the Polini, which he had a lot of issue with it. And he's just waiting for his Sky that should be arriving any day now. So I've had a couple people. I have plenty of people though that fly the Moster that did try the Sky, and they're like, that's a lot of power. Now, the reason why, I'm not really hardcore on the promotion of Sky Engine. The main reason is this one. I mean, as far as I know, and I know there's Vitas in Florida that does Sky Engine as well. I work with him very closely, super good guy. He's not as involved because he has his life going on and so on. So I'm really like just hardcore, doing my stuff here, but I'm not pushing Sky Engine too hard or just like selling engines in general, because I want to be able to handle any sort of like customer service. That is like, it can be anything, right? And it's not that I have issue with that. It's just, I'm by myself and I really like the pace I'm going at. And if I start pushing and selling that, when there's customer service issues, which will happen with any engine, and I'm by myself, it's going to be a whole different dynamic. Because remember, in Italy, I'm the only importer, pretty much. I'm the only guy like full-time doing Sky Engine here in the United States. But I have, every single one of my students, I would say 90% of my students fly a Sky at this point. And every time I have a new student, most of them go for a Sky 150, and they get to see the Moster 185. They get to put it on, they get to try it. They get to fly a mini plane, a top 80 as well. So for most pilots that are right above, like right around 160 pound, 150, the lightest, they can hop into a Sky, and they even do their first flight on the Sky 150, which again has a lot of power, but we do a lot of power management, throttle control, and so on. So it just works very well. But yeah, eventually, I feel like the next 2 years, when I get my house and I have more space, my goal is to be able to have everything in house right away, and then it'll be easier to kind of deal with any sort of customer service inquiries in general, because I'll have everything right here. Now I have stocks for parts, all the most common things, starters and all the stuff, but I can't just stock more, because if I do that, then it's not. I'm not living in the place anymore. I'm living in the shop, and I don't really want that.
Totally understand. We got a couple more minutes before we're going to spin the spinny wheel of Winnie Things, because Daniel over at Stay Bad Paramotor has a bunch of stuff that he wants to give away, man. So make sure you at Will Fly and let him know that you are here so we can put you on the spinning wheel. We're going to be spinning at 7:30 and again at 8 o'clock tonight at our hour mark. So make sure you stay around to possibly win some really cool stuff. And if you don't win, don't worry about it. You can always go to staybadparamotor.com, go to the shop over there and buy anything that you want. It'll help out Danielo over in California. So Scuba Steve, any questions in the super chat, buddy?
Yeah, Angela asks, has Danielo ever dealt with anyone that is difficult? I assume she means it's either hard to train or had a bad attitude, because she said you have such a positive attitude.
First of all, thank you. Yeah, I really think I like to think that I have a positive attitude. I like to live my life like that, but yes, I do. And I was telling you guys earlier, the good thing about having a school in LA is obviously there's a huge, pool of people that could be interested into the sport. I have a few, maybe. Yes. Sorry, guys. What's up? Okay. 1 second. Okay. I'll get you some.
Family is so important. You go ahead and talk. No problem.
Come here for a second. Okay. Come here. Don't be shy. It's okay. Everybody's nice. Okay, and when you're ready, okay? Whenever you're ready, no pressure. So yeah, like I was saying, it's a great place to teach. But as you know, Cali and LA, it's one of the places where people have a lot of money. A lot of people have a lot of money, and then when it comes to that part, some people. I'm coming in 1 second, okay? Can I just answer that and I come? Thank you. So because of that, you would think that people that have a lot of money, some of them, very few of them, and some of them are just like, they don't care. They just want to pay all this money and they want everything to be the way they want it to be. And especially with doing the one-on-one class, they think it's like, they think they can just call me last minute and be like, I'm coming, or call me. I'm like, I'm not coming. And there's no, and it's cool, which is not. So I learned within the years to kind of be like, okay, well, this is what it is. You have those one-on-one class, you're paying this much money. My course is $3,000. Unlimited classes was the one-on-one thing, rental gear is included and so on. So it's not, it's not the cheapest, but it's also not the most expensive. So I've dealt with people that are super hard, like they act like they're 15 when they're like, grown men, which is like, come on. But generally speaking, once you kind of like sit straight on your, when they see that I'm not moving, they kind of like realize, okay, there's just one way to do it, especially with the sport. I've had people asking me, make me fly by Thursday and I'll sign the release. If I die, like literally, I'm like, make me fly at the beach by Sunday. I'm like, no, like you can't even kite. Like what? They'll beg me. I'll sign a release. I promise you I'll pay. I'm like, no, like if something happened, it's not just, on me, but it's also going to affect everything else, my mental, my school in general, my business. Like, no, I don't have time for that. So I've had that, but I don't put up with it. There's a hard stop on that.
Totally understand. It is 7:30, guys, and we'll fly. Do you have the spinning wheel of winning things so Linda can say hello to everybody?
All right. So no more names on the wheel. Is that what we're saying? 8:30?
If there's another one that popped up, you're more than welcome to stick them on there.
Okay, well, I'm going to stop looking at it. So
Okay.
if you all see it, let me know.
All right.
Yeah, I think I've got everyone though to this point. So we
All
should be good.
So Linda's going to say hello to everyone. And if you don't see your name on this or hear your name, please at Will Fly before we do the spinning wheel. And then we're also going to be spinning the spinning wheel again in a half an hour. So stay tuned.
All right. So share screen. Ta-da.
Awesome.
Oh, that's a nice wheel.
Yeah,
Good
it is.
job. Like it. All right. I'm going to say hi to everybody.
It's gonna win.
All right. We got Kramer in the house. We got Kobe J, Cliffy V, 2 Feet in a Heartbeat, Matt Sloper, Bill H, Zach Gannon, Angela Preslick, Tony Marzano, Mr. Vegas. We got James. We got Lucas, and I'll probably like sabotage the name there. Luis is, and we got Deweese Milstead in the house. We have somebody Lockley. I can't see his half covered up.
Chris
Lockley.
Okay, thank you. And we got Kevin Houston, Para Ninja, CT Fly, Daniel Roche, Candace Adams, Joe Adele, and John Wayne Cowboy in the house. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Good luck to everybody.
Awesome.
right on.
So
We're gonna spin it. I'm sorry.
that's all right. We got a little cutie patootie on here.
Oh,
my
goodness.
goodness.
Look at that.
We want to see a little cutie patootie. How you doing?
Oh, man.
Aw. The
Very
whole
good.
world is looking at the princess. How are you, princess?
How are you? Don't be shy. Oh, God.
What are you eating?
Yeah.
What are you eating? Bread.
Oh, bread. I thought it was an ice cream cone.
Oh, she likes bread. Bread,
There's
cheese.
snack. You're so cute.
Yeah.
Okay, what are you gonna play? You're gonna play? Okay, go play supermarket. I'll come play supermarket after. When I'm done, okay? I got her a supermarket, and that's what I play every day.
Excellent.
She makes me the customer.
Before we spin the spinning wheel, since we got everybody on here, how about a thumbnail?
Whew. Had to get those glasses
All right.
off.
We all got on hats. This is gonna be a one-time thumbnail right here.
Thumbnail. Ready for the picture.
Heart. Small hearts. There we go. Hearts and everything. All right. Ready when you guys are.
Okay, so let me get that set up. 1, 2, 3. I think we got it.
Yay. Awesome. All right. It's
Cool.
always good when we have thumbnails.
Right.
Gotta have the thumbnails.
Good deal. All right. Let's spin the spinning wheel of anything.
Uh-oh, the wheel's gonna spin now.
Uh-oh. Will said, oops, I deleted everybody.
No, I got it. All right, so can you see it?
Yeah.
Now we can.
Now.
All right, so let me shuffle.
Do the long spinning wheel thing so we can try to guess who's going to win. I do want to say a shout out to Cliffy V. He came over to the school and helped us out a lot when he came over. We definitely appreciate that. Kevin Houston comes over and helps a lot, and he's also a student. He's coming all the way over from
Oh, yeah.
Adele, so I'm picking.
Yep, Chris
Hi,
Lockley, he's
Logan.
helped us a lot. So a shout out to Chris Lockley for everything that he's done for Run to the Sky nonprofit.
Yes. I see Munchkin in the chat.
Oh, how
She's awesome. I love her. Just saying, Scuba.
Bill H is going to win
That's my
again.
girl.
Matt Sloper, Copay, Tony Marzano, Chris
I don't
Lockley.
know, I think it might
I
be
was
Tony.
thinking Copay
yeah,
tonight.
I'm thinking Tony too. Yeah.
Copay,
Oh, it's close.
Copay's like, no, slow down, slow down.
Man,
It's gonna be Tony. Can we spin it again?
It's always rigged. It's always rigged.
Yes.
It's rigged for Tony, man. It's rigged.
Mr. Vegas. Congratulations.
Tony.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
That was our test spin, right? Are we ready for the real spin?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was a return one.
All right. So you guys make sure you at Will Fly. We're going to spin again here in just a little bit. Must be present to win. So Tony Marzano, you got my number, right? Text me and let me know that you want something from Stay Bad Paramotor. And if you do, let me know what you want and we'll get it out to you.
There's
All
a
right.
new one for you, Will. Marcos Franco.
All right.
Marcos Franco. All right.
Marcos Franco.
Yeah, Marcos Franco.
Marcos, you know what I like? Marcos Pizza. So, if you can help us up, Marcos, with some Marcos Pizza. So on our
Yeah.
pre-show, Danielo, we talked a little bit about losing LZs and sometimes people post some crazy videos at LZs that make you lose the LZs. First of all, anybody in the super chat, have you lost an LZ? Was it because someone was flying there that was not an ambassador to the sport? I really believe that all of us paramotor pilots need to be an ambassador to the sport. If you're flying somewhere, make sure that you are an ambassador to the sport. I keep on saying this, and I'm saying this over and over again, because I really want you guys to understand that buzzing over somebody's house or buzzing somebody and making them upset at us is going to help us lose the LZs. Watching us or being high enough, just flying straight. I tell you what, we talk about this all the time. We don't care that you can do wing overs. Most people that look up in the sky are seeing airplanes. They go across and they're like, oh, that's really cool. I like that. Wing overs and spirals and barrel rolls, nobody cares about. Plus, it scares them. Think about it. If you saw your first airplane before you went on an airplane, it was doing barrel rolls and spins, you'd be like, I don't want to go on an airplane. That's scary as AF, man. But, for flying a paramotor, we want to see somebody just flying and going, hey, how you doing? So in the super chat, have you lost any LZs because, I don't know, someone that was not an ambassador to the sport flew there and messed it up? Daniela, we talked a little bit about the losing LZs and posting of videos. Tell us a little bit more about that for all the people that are listening.
Yep. Well, I mean, when I first started flying, after I started flying, I started posting a lot of video on YouTube, and that's kind of how I got going, was the whole school and everything. But the more I started posting, the more I realized that people were obviously drawn in to come fly to LA, because obviously they see, oh, you're flying on the beach and you're flying there, and they're like, that must be so cool. I'm like, yeah, it is cool. And at first I was very excited to get all those people to fly around those places. But then I got to experience a lot of, it's more than none pilots that come here and they don't really care, or they act like they care and they get disrespectful right away because they're just passing by. So they're like, well, I'm not getting caught. But it just stays. If you make a bad impression on day one when you're flying certain places that we fly all the time, we fly a certain way because we don't want to disturb anybody. Like you were saying, if there's houses, we fly away from the houses. People say hi, we say hi once, not 50 times, things like that. We just go and, take off and go. And then those people, when they're first time doing, flying those locations, generally they just abuse it. They just fly and they just do wherever they want to do around it, land and go back to their home state. And because of that, we've had in the past 3 years, we've lost at least 3 LZs. And we've got a bunch of issues from other LZs because people are like, oh yeah, this guy crashed over there. Well, I don't know this guy. And like just some guy passing by that had a bad landing, but it just draws negative attention. So posting those videos, thank you. She just made me food. Posting those videos really like trigger that. I was like, the more I post, the more people want to see it. People, like I was telling you, reach out to me. They're doing the right thing. They ask me, hey, can I fly there? Or can I fly this? And I'll tell them, please don't fly from that location. It's not okay. The airspace is like from ground to 5,000 feet. And for 5,000 feet, like it's just, you don't fly here. That's it. Santa Monica area, which is in the heart of Santa Monica, right by the pier. If anybody knows the area, they will tell you it's like insane. Like you don't even want to like think about doing it. But it was early morning. We're talking about 8 a.m., which is not that early. It's past sunrise. There's not a lot of people. So he deemed like, okay, to just go and take off, go live on Facebook. And then I have a bunch of friends of mine telling me, hey, this guy's flying over Santa Monica Pier. And I look at it and the guy just had asked me 30 minutes prior to that, can I fly there? And I told him specifically, please don't take off in this area. It's, it's a state beach. It's by the Santa Monica Pier. He still did. So, we have so many instances where that happened. And I feel like I don't know, it just messes it up for everybody else, for everybody else, and even for themselves down the road. Because if regulations comes down here in Cali, it's probably going to follow up to other states at some point if it's just like specifically paramotor related. So yeah, like the common sense, like you were saying earlier, not a lot of people have it, and that's sad. So it go further than just oh, it's a paramotor. I have very few regulations, so I'm gonna go and bust all the few regulations. I'm gonna go and disrespect them. So yeah, that's why I stopped posting so many videos of me flying. I'm gonna post Utah because we had LZs that are like where we're allowed to take off from and so on. I will not eat that. But yeah, the personal spot where we fly, I would not post it anymore, just because because we lose them. We've had too many experience doing that.
Yeah, it's really sad. Anybody say anything in the super chat about losing LZs from people?
Yeah,
Did
there's
they
like
say?
3 people that just lost an LZ. We lost at least 3 LZs due to idiots. Then Bill said he lost an LZ because of big city government, which I remember that one. I think that was one of my first flights was at the LZ he's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 555, he was the first to respond there. And then Bill H, like Steve said, but Paraninja lost 3 LZs because of some, not so bright people apparently. So kind of like to hear about that.
Yeah.
That's really
Raised a lot
sad.
to lose.
Yeah.
I know, and the rules are very easy to break, but also too, you have the possibility of harming people too if you're breaking these rules. They're not just for you flying, but they're for people on the ground also. One of the things that I teach is if you lost your motor, if your motor fell off your paramotor at any time, would it hit any people or property? If the answer is yes, you're flying over something that's considered congested, right? If you're flying over anything that your motor would fall and hurt people or property, you're not flying the way that we should as, unregulated, don't have to get a $10,000 license, don't have to get yearly inspection, N numbers, all that stuff. We have the freedom of doing so much. And, our regulations are please don't fly over people or drop anything that can harm anybody or fly it in a manner that could harm somebody. They're not asking much from us, and I don't understand why people want to purposely go out there and possibly ruin things. I don't know if it's to show off or maybe to get that Instagram or that footage of me pissing somebody off and then flipping me off and look, they're flipping me off. Well, you're buzzing them over their head. Stop doing that. Anyway, I get kind of frustrated that too, where people are not being ambassadors to the sport. If you're flying a paramotor, be an ambassador to the sport. All
Yeah.
right.
And I wanted to add something to that. So if
Yes.
you're new in the sport, the holy grail of any paramotor pilot is the field they fly out of. I mean, so if you're ever invited to fly along at somebody else's field, man, make sure that you go overboard because, you know, on top of the limited regulations we have, there's going to be like something like, well, this neighbor over here really doesn't want you flying over him because he's got horses, or, you know, little nuances to each LZ. And I would feel terrible if I was responsible for someone losing their LZ, you know? So it's just something to keep in mind.
Some people don't. I mean, you gotta be aware that some people really don't care because they don't, they don't even apologize. Like, they wouldn't even apologize, or they're just like, well, it's not my fault. I'm like, I was like, we have videos, you know, like, yeah, that's sad, but
those are people though I won't fly with. You know what I mean? I mean, I know what you're talking about. You can't control everyone, but it's.
I mean, if it didn't cause any problems, you know, fine. But they're basically, by people doing stuff like that, it's going to impose regulations on us. So it hurts us when they do that also, let alone may hurt somebody else that they're flying over. That's the bad thing about it. I mean, it's got a big effect. They think, oh, I'm not hurting anybody. Yeah, you are. So, you know, I don't like when people bend the rules. Oh, I can get by. There wasn't that many people around. No, I don't.
My first instructor said something to me before I even took my first flight. He said, when you find a good LZ, covet it. And that's a quote, covet it, you know, and I didn't really understand, you know, what he was talking about at the time, but I understand now, and I don't have any problem sharing my LZ with you know, friends and stuff. But LZs are not getting easier to find. I'll just put it to you that way.
no, not at all. Not at all. And you know, it's like, even LZs were allowed technically and legally speaking, like, to fly from, you know, like, we can, everything is green light. I still make sure not to fly them too much, because there's always people in there. If it's at the beach, I make sure that I go see every single lifeguard on that stretch. I'm like, listen, I'm just letting you know, everything is checked off. You know, I know it's legal to fly from this section. I know I'm going to be flying this, there, and on. I know there's not a lot of people over there, so I'm going to take off in that section right there so I don't bother anybody. I told the people that were somehow close to where I was going to be standing at that I was going to fly, that I was going to, you know, the motor was going to be noisy. So, you know, by doing this, at first they're like, why? Like, what are you coming to talk to me? I'm like, I'm just want to make sure if you guys have any concerns, just let me know. If it bothers you, let me know. I'll go somewhere else. And by doing that first step, I feel like I always got a good response. We're like, oh, okay, all right, cool. Appreciate you coming and, giving us like a heads up, even though I don't need to do it. But like you said, if you take care of those places and the people that are around, and I even offer them, hey, if you guys want to do a 10 flight, it's on me. I'll take you guys on someday, just gather all the lifeguard and we'll just go for a quick run and everything. So I feel like it goes a long way to do that. It's not just to make yourself look good, it's to make the whole hobby in general look good. And people are like, okay, those guys are respectful. And I tell the same to my students. If you go fly there, please go introduce yourself, make sure of, a checklist, make sure there's no people on the way, make sure you're not going to bother anybody, make sure everything is kind of clear for you to kind of do this, once and done. You do your thing, come back, land, pack, and go, and everybody's happy. They got their pictures, they got their videos, you got your flight, happy ending, and then, until next time.
Exactly. And make sure that you have plenty of altitude. I cannot stress this enough. If you're at 500 feet or below, you're making noise. If it's the first time people see it, it's like, oh, cool, look at that. That's neat. But if you're doing it over and over and over again, it gets annoying and not fun anymore. If you're 1,000 feet up, it's like, oh, okay, I can hear it. I can see it. Okay, that's pretty neat. 2,000 feet, is that a bird? I can't really tell, right? So if you're 2,000 feet up there, you're not going to be bothering anybody. If you're buzzing really low under 500 feet, you could be really bothering somebody, and people don't understand. They think that you can like see into their house by flying low over their house or around their house like that. And they get really weird, really weird. we have an LZ, and I'm not saying anything. If you guys know what I'm talking about, please don't say anything. We have an LZ where we have a neighbor that doesn't like anybody to fly around on their property, even though it's a huge field. And me and him, we have a great rapport because I talked to him, found out that somebody flew over his house, buzzed it, where his daughter and his wife were out at the pool with their bikini on, and they thought that they were spying on him. Right? Obviously he wasn't. He was just buzzing around having a good time, but too low. Make sure that you're high enough. So right now we got an LZ, but part of it is like stay way away from one side of the LZ, because we had one person that buzzed too low and the guy was freaking out because it's like, why are you looking at my wife and my daughter in a bikini? Right? So stay as high as you can. Altitude is your friend, because you can throw that reserve, you can fix things up as quickly as you can so you don't have any problems, and you're high enough to where people see you. It's like, wow, that is so cool, what is that thing? And not, geez, I wish they would get away from me because they're really bothering me.
It's weird because I had that happen here. My neighbors asked me to fly. They all the neighbors that I live like in a cul-de-sac, and all of them wanted to see me fly. So we have a giant farm behind me and this giant school field next to it. Plus we got Langley Air Force Base right there. But so I took off on the weekend, and I may have been 300 feet up max, but I only flew for 10 minutes because it was really bad wind, and I landed. And I came back and asked him, I was like, was it loud? Could you hear it? He's like, dude, my lawnmower is way louder than that thing. He said, it didn't bother me at all. So, I mean, yeah, but I know there's some motors that are really loud and, they're annoying, but yeah, they acted like it was no big deal. I guess it just depends how low you are. And if you're buzzing them a lot, yeah, it can get annoying, I'm sure. It's like a gnat.
There's a couple things come to mind with that. Now, if you don't know what DBAD means, you can Google it. And another translation, I guess, of that would be just be a good neighbor, treat people nice and how you'd like to be treated. But there's somebody in the chat that explained in plain English what an LZ is and how you should treat it.
Okay, what's that?
I think it was Munchkin. Munchkin? Munchkin, Steve?
Yeah. She asked a question?
No, she said an LZ is like a good fishing spot.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, and you don't want to wear the fishing spot out either, because, you got to give the fish time to, grow and get bigger and come back and catch them again. So, yeah, it's a good fishing spot.
Yeah.
Exactly. Any other questions in the super chat before we move on?
The only other one was James was saying he recently got harassed because he was flying over fields and it's hunting season. So I guess that's going from October 15th to January 1st. And that is another thing to consider. I mean, these hunters take their sport seriously, as they should, just like we take our sport. So
you'd be surprised that we got some hunting fields not far from here. They've actually asked one of my buddies that fly to round the deer up towards them, with the paramotor, fly to bring the deer near them, or ducks, whatever they're hunting at the time. But yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
I don't know if it's legal.
I got a question real quick. Why are we seeing, it seems like lately, sadly, we're seeing more collisions in the air. The last one was with a glide. Somebody had a glider, and it just seems like, is it because they're not paying attention, or the wind is taking them in there? I'm just, maybe somebody can explain to me. I know accidents happen, but you know what I mean.
Last one I heard about was the one that was over at the fly-in, where two of them kind of came in this way. Other than that, which ones are we talking about? Has anybody else heard about any collisions?
Gliding in Utah, the hang glider.
I thought there was one in Utah with a
too.
paraglider and a glider. Somebody had a glider, I believe.
I think it was a paraglider and a hang glider.
Yeah, that's it.
Hang glider, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If you guys have that link, if you could put it in the guest chat for me, I'd like to take a look at that one. I haven't seen that one. I do remember a year or so ago, there was a small engine airplane, I think a FedEx or something like that, that collided with a paramotor. Unfortunately, no one survived in either aircraft. So collisions with anything are very dangerous, obviously. The rules and regulations for us is we give way for any certified aircraft. So if they got an N number, or if they're a certified aircraft, we give way to them. If they come up behind us and run into us, it's our fault. We also, as paramotor pilots, have to give way to unpowered paragliders.
They were breaking into the Capitol.
So,
Really?
it could be something to do with, you don't know what you don't know. It could be their training. They weren't taught to look into the sky for clean air, to watch out for other stuff. If they weren't trained that, or if they weren't trained, some trainers don't train to reverse kite, or they don't train to forward kite. They don't train about weather. They're just there to get you in and out. But most trainers, like I know Sean, and I'm sure Danielo is the same way, go through everything you need to know before you ever leave there. So I just think people need, if you're in this sport, if you don't get enough out of your training, you obviously are not done. You're never done. You're always a student. I learned something every day just reading about paramotors, watching different videos, watching people's mistakes. I think it's really important to learn all this stuff. You go out and you get in an accident because you didn't know that, hey, this guy could be coming this way, or which way to turn if you're about to collide. That's good. That's stuff you need to know.
So pretty much it comes down to, you really got to be aware of your surroundings up there.
Always.
Because like you said, sometimes people come out of nowhere, right? When you're flying, and you ever have that and you're like, whoa, where
flying's more than anything, because then you have a lot of people in the air. Your head's got to be on a swivel. If we could 360 it, that would be even better. It's just constantly spinning around.
Yeah, that would make me nervous.
I want to know, has Kevin been back in the air? He's been quiet the whole time. Kevin's a new pilot, and we got to see his first flight, which was awesome. So have you got to go again, Kevin? Or
I hadn't been back up yet. Probably November 10th is when I'll be back over in Arkansas again.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, it was good to see you get in the air, man. I'm excited for you.
It was a blast. Got to practice my landing though.
Hey, me too. I'm still on that. The only reason I landed good on my touch and goes is because I had a nice 10-mile-an-hour wind. That was easy landing there. Just touch and then you take right back off again. So yeah.
Yeah, when you have any type of wind coming in, the takeoffs are easy peasy and the landings are a breeze. You basically can come down and just land like a butterfly. So I know that over in California, over at Danielo's school, is probably just incredible coming down. What's the highest wind that you guys fly in? What's the normal wind as far as wind and gust over on the beach?
Well, if you mean for students, we just follow the USPPA, like 12 miles per hour gust, and it's strong, 12 miles per hour gust, for a beginner, it just shakes you up. Even, when you do your reverse and so on, it's out there. But once they have their wind under control, but the average, I like to keep it like no more than 10 gust for students. But for me, when I go fly on my own with other students, we're probably like, the highest wind will fly probably like 15 miles per hour, because then it's not fun. We could fly, even higher winds. I've flown like, 18, 20 gusts, but it's just not fun. It's just even with like a faster glider, when I fly the Cougar or so on, I can haul ass, and I have the speed bar. So it's like, whatever, but it's not fun. It's not fun. It's just not the best condition. But the average, we have like a good, 6 to 10 miles per hour. That's kind of like our, like most days, that's what we have. So it's cool. If you go earlier, you have no wind. Afternoon it picks up a little bit, then sunset dies again. But that's the strongest. We'll go when we do our beach day. That's what we have, which is fun for practice. It's good because in the morning you do no wind, and then in the afternoon you do reverse, and then sunset you go back to no wind. So yeah, there's a good mix between all those techniques.
That's really awesome. Any questions in the super chat that we haven't seen, or anybody on the panel with any question?
There's it's more of a topic from James. We were in the chat. We were talking about basically, I mean, the hunters have a right to hunt and we have a right to fly. And both of those are true, but I mean, for me, it's more about being a good neighbor, right? And I know that there's plenty of fields here that, if I see a blind and hunting's going on or whatever, there's other fields that I can fly, so just try to work, try to keep the peace and not, stir up any trouble.
And
So-
keeping the peace too, during there's places around national parks that they say to fly 2,000 feet above so you don't disturb wildlife. So if we know that there's going to be hunting and stuff, why don't we stay at least 2,000 feet to not bother people that are hunting?
Well, I would never intentionally go somewhere where I knew they were hunting. I mean,
I know it's hard to
because,
tell.
I mean, I know how much I enjoy my sport, and I know
Right.
that hunters enjoy their sport, and it's there's enough room. I mean, you probably don't have to worry about that in Los Angeles so much,
Nope.
Danielo, but out in the
Absolutely.
country, man, we got some guns.
Absolutely.
That part. But like the hunting, if you think about it, they have the right to hunt, we have the right to fly, but they don't bother us what they're doing, and we bother them. So I feel like, thinking about that, it's good to kind of put ourselves in their shoes. Like you say, they love doing what they're doing, and we love doing what we're doing. I feel like we have more flexibility to fly somewhere else. Like if they're hunting in the area, just I feel like if you fly in an area where there's hunting, there's probably plenty of space for you to fly somewhere. Like climb a little bit and go 3-4 miles down the road and hit another space. But
Absolutely. It is 8 o'clock already, so it's time for another spinning wheel of win things. We got more questions in the super chat, and Danielle has some events coming up that he wants to talk about. So how much time do we have? We got another half an hour with you, Danielle?
yeah, let's do it.
All right, so let's go ahead and spin the spinning wheel winning thing. So we'll do one now. Will, are you able to hang out with us for another 30 minutes to do another spinning wheel, or do you need to go, buddy?
No, we can do it.
All right, so we'll spin another wheel right now. If there's any new people that we need to shout out, Linda's going to shout them out. And we'll do another spinny wheel of winning things in another half an hour. So if you are still able to hang with us, we're going to be spinning the wheel again at about 8:30. So make sure you at Will Fly say, yo, I'm here. Put me on this wheel of winning things. Look at how many people we have.
Oh,
Yeah. You know what? I never win anything. Can you put PPG Grandpa on that thing? Just to see if my name ever does come up. And wow, cool.
How do you spell that? Will
PPG Grandpa. Oh yeah, Will Fly. There you go. Will Fly. Why not?
wow. I see James and Walter's in the house. My Sugar's in the house. We said Chris Lockley, welcome. And we got Fly Baby Fly in the house. What's up?
Up your ankles.
Let's go ahead and do another shout out to everybody real quick, just for fun. I mean, it's 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Let's shout out everybody real quick.
Like this? Like shout like that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We had Tweez Millstud, our Ninja, Marcos Franco, 555, Clippy V, Bankrupt, Joe Adele, Scott and Angie Garland, Flying Flamingo Jade. How are you, my love? Kevin Houston in the house. Pope J, Daniel Rush, Munchkin, my Munchkin with the beautiful hair. Matt Sloper, what's up? Bill H, Kramer, Candace Adams, CT Fly, Zach Gannon, 2 Feet in a Heartbeat, Angela Preslick, Lucas Newis, sorry if I burned the name, John Wayne Cowboy, Fly Baby Fly, Chris Lockley, Walter Priori from Australia, and James. Welcome, chatters. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and good luck, everybody.
And also Tony Marzano that we've taken off the wheel since he already won. So shout out to Tony for, letting us know that it's not rigged. Wait a minute. Yeah, it's rigged. Wait a minute. I see Fly Butch Fly. No, it's Fly Baby Fly.
That's Fly Baby Fly. That's your Danky.
Yeah, so we got Fly Baby
Your
Fly and
Danky.
Fly Butch Fly. Wow. Are you guys
my
like
buddy.
all these people with Fly last name? Are you all like related or something? What's up with that?
Very
That's
cool.
crazy. All right. So as
Wait.
we're spinning the wheel or as we're shuffling, Danielo, if you would just tell us a little bit about your school, your URL, and how do we get up with you?
All right, stay-by-paramotor.com. Everything stay-by-paramotor. Instagram, email, and then if you go on all those platforms, you can find my phone number. You can just click on the button and it just send you. You can text me or call me. We're based in LA. We do our training at the beach, one-on-one classes until you get your first flight, and after that, it's going to be group classes with all our more experienced students that still come to class and hang out with. We'll just hang out as a big group. And yeah, come have some fun. And even if you don't want to take classes, you just want to come and check out, how the classes are and just kind of experience the vibe during those group classes, hit me up. We'll take you there, and then we'll just have, a great day.
Very cool.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Before we spin the wheel, or are we spinning it right now?
It's a spinning.
Already.
Uh-oh. I was going to say, if you guys can give us some thumbs up, that really helps us a lot. Kevin Houston, there you go. Oh, there you go.
Put a
So
bankrupt on the
Beat
wheel.
the heartbeat.
2 feet and a heartbeat. Or is it Candace Adams?
Looks like it's gonna be Adam.
Candace.
Oh man, I almost got
Yay.
a bankrupt. That would have been awesome.
Congratulations.
Exactly. Hey, Candace, since you're brand new, I
Welcome,
don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember seeing your name. So welcome to the show. If you would like to get something from Stay Bad, what you do is you get up with me. You can text me at 501-747-3558, and we will send some stuff out to you because you are a winner. Once again, the number is, hurry up, get that pen real quick. Hurry up, get the pen. Where's the pen? Where's the pen? Or just put in your phone real quick. Ready? It's 501-747-3558. If you missed it, don't worry. Go over to paramotorarkansas.com or runintothesky.org and hit us up that way. We will get that stuff out to you from Stay Bad Paramotor, our very own Danielo, amazing guy. Second time on the show. Man, you're gonna have to come back next year, dude.
I'm down. Every
This
month.
is season 4, so we're gonna be rolling into season 5. So we need you, back at least on season 5. of the
You name it.
podcast.
Give me a date and I'm back.
Good deal. I like that. I like
There
that.
was
A
a
lot.
question earlier, and I forgot to. They asked, where does Danielo see himself in 5 years besides flying a trike? No.
That's true. That's a good. Well, why do I see myself in 5 years? Okay, I think my main, which I'm going to start talking about it in a second, but it's going to be organizing events. Because, like I told you, like back when I was touring, I used to travel in many different places. We did like plus 50, almost 54 countries. No, we did 54 countries on tour. So I have a lot of contacts in many places, many of those countries where I have very good friends. They're not pilots, but they we're really good friends. They support what I do, and they have a lot of connections. And most of those places, it's just like, it's just paradise to fly. So I'll talk about it in a second, but that's my main goal. It's like, the school is going to keep going, obviously, but I'm not trying to become, the school that trains the most pilot. I want to keep the pace I have, which I love. And that's my main goal, being fulfilled with what I'm doing. So organizing events where I can take people to different places to fly. Kind of not like Iceland, but kind of like Iceland, but it was a different dynamic. More on like I say, visiting the country itself and having getting to experience more than just the flying on its own. So that's my plan, what I'm going to be starting this next July.
That sounds amazing. You also got some few events coming up, right? One in Puerto Rico,
Right.
one in France. Tell us a little bit about that. That sounds awesome.
Thanks. So been talking. So long story short, something that got put together very last minute. I was at Brad Roper reception. As you guys know, he got married recently, it was pretty awesome. So I went to visit him for the reception, and then I met some people. Samuel Travis that was there. He's a good, if you guys know him, but he's a great, very amazing pilot. He lives in Puerto Rico, and I was talking to him like, so how come you live in Puerto Rico and you don't have anything set up? You're such a good pilot. You have so much experience. You train people already. And then why don't you do anything or something to get people out there? People would love to fly Puerto Rico. It's beautiful. There's like, it's a beach flying all day. So the weather is great. He's like, yeah, I don't know if people will be interested. I'm like, I think people will be interested. So he's just talking with this girl, and then a week later he comes back to me at the Utah paramotor flying. He's like, I think I'm going to do it. I'm like, you should do it. And so coming up this second week of January, so we're going to do a first test run. So he's putting everything together. Obviously, that's his project that I'm so happy to be part of. But I'm so glad I was like, you need to do it. I would be your first customer. I want to go. So anyway, so January we're just playing that. We're like we're booking our flights and so on. But he's going to be providing gears. So the PAP Tinox, is that how you say it? PAP Tinox. How do you say the Tinox? The PAP Tinox 1500 was the 140 prop. So he's gonna have those units available for us. All we gotta do is bring our glider and everything. So everything is set. We have an Airbnb. We have, so we have a room, we have food, we have transportation that is included. We get to explore every activities that are part of the island. So we're gonna fly all day, and then we're gonna get to see, sightseeing and like snorkeling, whatever, name it. And it's all part of the whole thing. So we go for a week and we get to do all of those things, fly a bunch of different locations around Puerto Rico, a bunch of XE flights. And all we got to do again is just show up. Just book your flight, show up, and everything is set up for you. So we're doing this. That's going to be his first event. Lucas is going to be part of it. Lucas and Rob, you guys probably know about Lucas. And if you don't, he makes amazing YouTube videos, traveling all over the place in Baja and so on. Beautiful storytelling videos. So he's going to be part of the trip. Rob, which you guys all know, he's in Egypt right now, if I'm correct, or he's just finished. Amazing footage. I mean, he takes one of the best videos and pictures that I've ever seen. So he's going to be part of that trip too. And I'm super happy to be part of it. So it's going to be 3 of us with, and plus Sam, and then his girlfriend is going to help us as well, taking care of us over there. So super exciting for that first trip. We're going to put everything together and see what's the correct place to go and the correct place to fly and how everything is going to unfold. So just be ready for, we're going to have this first event launching soon. This first one in January is just for us to test the whole concept and make sure it's, it's really like, it's just like completely like set and safe. And then the one that I'm organizing myself is a trip that we're going to have second week of July. It's going to be happening in France. In the small town in France. Is like a mountain area. It's a place where they have a lot of competitions for hang gliding and paragliding. So the goal is to do paramotoring in sunrise and sunset, and then throughout the entire day it's going to be paragliding. So we're going to be working on different things, but 7 days. It's a huge campsite that has been known for that. I would write the name right here on our chat. I'll say the name of the city, but it's pretty much nobody's going to get it. It's La Reine-Montéglin. It makes no sense, but I just wrote it down. And if you Google that, you'll find the village where it's going to be happening, and then the place where we're going to be taking off from for paragliding. It's Montagne de Chabo. It's a very well-known space. They have big competitions that happen every year, and I think Noah with BGD from Epic Paramotor. Noah went there. I think it was last year. The BGD brought some pilots in that exact same town, and that's why I was like, Noah, I grew up there back when I was in France. When I moved to France, I moved from Brazil to France when I was 14. Amazing place, the mountain area, there's river. It's so beautiful to fly there. And the goal is, like I said, paramotor morning and evening, and then throughout the whole day we have a shuttle that take us up the mountain. It's about 4,000 feet high, and we get to do a straight takeoff. It's a beautiful takeoff area made for hang gliding and paragliding. And that's pretty much going to be just that for 7 days. So that's the plan. Take a group of like 10 pilots from here all the way to France. And then the year after is going to be the opposite. I'm going to take French pilots over here in California. They're going to have 7 days here, Airbnb. Everything is going to be set and organized for them. They're going to be getting their rating as well, their USPPA rating here, which there's not going to be useful for them in France, but it's exciting. I feel like when you come from a different place, to be able to get to experience that and at the same time get those ratings as a paramotor pilot. So that's the 2 big projects that I'm kind of like, one is that I'm organizing, the one in France, and one I'm taking part in as a dummy, let's put it this way, testing pilot to see if it really is worth. But I know both of them are going to be super exciting and great. So that's my point. That's my goal for the 5 years, really kind of build that to a bigger audience and make it more accessible to the point where it could even be like we're trying to do with Puerto Rico. a thing where you can go with your family. I mean, during the daytime where us pilots are busy flying, wives or husbands or kids can have activities that are pre-planned, or they can do their own thing, but it's something that you can come with your whole family, and there's no like, well, I'm just going to be here sitting down while you're flying. It's going to be more like you can do this with the kids, or you can do, explore more than just being at the LZ itself.
So when is the Puerto Rico?
So the first one, January 8th to January 14th. That's where we're going to be there. And we're going to be posting that online. You see that all over social media and so on. We're going to be documenting, creating all the content to promote the actual open to the public event. So so that's pretty much what's happening. But it's there, it's happening. We're just going there to create everything around it, to be able to market it properly, to show what it's gonna happen. But it's on, it's
Sure.
the has been ordered. He's putting that in place, and we're just going there to make sure everything is set.
Para Ninja wanted to know, do you have any inside scoop on Salton Sea next year? Do you think y'all gonna be able to get the beach again?
No, it's not scoop. I don't think we are going to be able to get the beach again. As far as a day use, if you just want to go on, on an everyday basis and use the space, I feel like, we haven't had any issue using it. And I feel like the main reason is, number one, we're not sleeping on the beach area. And obviously we keep it very clean. We set up our camp for just half a day or a day. We do our thing. We're not disturbing anybody. And again, we're not flying low to where the hay bales are. So really keep it clear from all those areas. If there's workers, we stay away from them. So respecting those boundaries, I feel like it's pretty safe to say that we are going to be able to fly there. Camping there, we haven't had any update in the sense that I don't think there is any update. And we've been kind of looking around and asking, and nobody has any update because I think nothing has changed. They're not moving back, and they've been expanding those hay bales as you fly now. I went, it was probably 2 weeks ago before the Utah Paramotor flying, and it was the same thing. It used to be, the hay bale used to be like in one section. Now you fly 3, 4, 5 miles down the beach. There's more and more and more hay bales like spread out all around. So I think it's only going to get worse, if anything, which is sad, but that's my, it's not for sure, but that's what I think based on, what I saw there. But as far as just going up and going for a quick flight and, for a couple hours, we haven't had any issue.
Interesting. Wow. The things that we learn on this Paramotor podcast. I think Will wants to say something, but he's on mute. Or maybe he doesn't want to say something because he's on mute.
Well, heck, I'll say something since I took it off mute. How about someone was asking about the price? Have you narrowed that down at all?
No, I haven't personally, but I know it's going to be but the goal is to make it affordable. We're not trying to, the goal for Sam is not to make money, is to create a sort of thing. So with the means, and Puerto Rico, the good thing about it is it's a lot cheaper than here, in the United States in general. So that's why it allows us to kind of make that happen and to make it accessible to most.
Are you thinking about class or groups of 10 for the Puerto Rico thing as well?
So I feel like the first class is probably a group of 5. Also, there's some requirement because, the weather now, we know the weather is very good to fly pretty much every day. Now we are at the beach. So if you have no experience doing reverse launch, it's probably going to be, a very hard, experience for you because it's most of the time is reverse launch. So the goal we're talking about is like, we're going to have this thing set up where we'll probably have like one day where it's just going to be, ground handling and just working on like those different launch technique to make sure everybody's comfortable with, those takeoffs in higher winds. It's everything is done safely, but it's like I say, if you've never done a reverse launch and you come in and you have no option, you not do a forward launch. There's just no way. So, but yeah, price is going to be, the goal is to make it accessible. It's not to make to turn himself into the next billionaire. It's really to make, he loves the sport. And his main concern is like, how can I do it safely and, make sure people will be interested in it and make sure I'm not, as long as he's not actually losing money because, nobody can live like that. But the goal is to make it accessible,
I wanted to ask Kevin about his first solo flight. I watched that video pretty close and it looked like he almost sat down early, but he didn't. And then he got off the ground. And I really loved the fact that he just kept them feet going. He was in the air like 50 feet and his feet were still going. That was awesome. So how did your first solo flight go? I mean, we didn't hear much from you yet. That's what
I thought it went well. I felt myself almost sit down, but watching the video, there's a big dip there. So it felt like I was going to sit down, and then I caught myself again right on the other side of the dip. Got up off the ground. Sean's talking to me through the headset. Sometimes it was kind of hard to hear. But I think the only issue I honestly had was my landing on what I saw and of course what I felt. But felt like the forward launch went well. It was a lot of fun. It was great. I've never felt anything like that in my entire life, and I've been on top of I've been on top of mountains, not flying on mountains, but California when I lived there, on top of the Sierra Nevadas. So I know what it's like to see for miles, but something being up in the air like that, not in a plane, it's just, I can't explain it. So,
yeah, there's nothing like it. I mean, the whole scooping thing, especially if you don't lean back, if you're leaning a little bit forward, what'll happen is as soon as that wing starts to lift you, your motor will flip back and it'll scoop you in your seat too early. That's why, it's important to lean back. Besides it'll get you off the ground faster, but I'm sure Sean taught you all that stuff anyway.
Right. And that's something else I didn't think I did. I don't recall seeing it on video or feeling myself actually leaning back.
You'll get to that. You'll start leaning back. You'll get to that.
It's hard to do the trust the thrust. I mean, we do trust the thrust. And when you take your first flight, if you can remember it, you don't remember anything about it. If you didn't have that video, you would go, did I even fly? What happened? I mean, because your mind is going a million miles an hour. Even though we talk about the three parts of taking off, which is inflation, taxi, and commit, and the 3 Ps, the posture, pressure, and power. We talk about that also. And we even have 3 things that we look at when we land, right? Where our feet touch, where our feet end, and where our wing goes down, right? So we look at all that stuff in the future too, because, if you're going to be landing anywhere, that sometimes you land and there are things in the way. Could be another pilot, could be you're at a fly-in, so you got to know where your feet going to touch, where they're going to end, and where that wing is going to lay down. So we do a lot of that. But that first one, man, I still remember my first flight. I don't really remember what happened. Thank goodness I have it on video.
Yeah, I wouldn't beat yourself up at all, Kevin. I mean, I think you did really good for your first flight, and the more flights you get, the better you'll get every single time. So yeah, don't beat yourself up.
Yeah, next time you get over here, Kevin, we're going to have to get you going up in the air as soon as you get here in the morning and just fly, touch and goes, land and take off and landings. Absolutely.
If you can get Butch out of the way, Butch is going to be hogging up the runway and stuff. Butch, get out of the damn way.
He takes off and he gets out of there right away. I mean, he goes and he's gone. He's a professional.
135 pounds, so it don't take me long.
On foot launch, he has an Atom 80. He never goes more than 50%. He's up in like 3 steps.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, my first flight was with the Atom 80, and I had it squeezed all the way. I think I had a death grip on it all the way down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, you were on the Atom 80, man.
I'm 220. So
yeah. So, okay. I was 230 something when I took my first flight on the Atom 80. And I can tell you, I switched right from that to the 185. You get off the ground way faster with a 185.
Right. But your first flight on an 80, you have to run. You have to make sure that
oh yeah, you do.
Perfect. You're not just going to gas it and go on oscillation.
Right.
You're going to have to make sure that wing is perfect before you get off the air or off the ground. So an Atom 80
is great. I mean, I got no complaints. It's just
at 240, 250, I can take off nil wind in about 10 steps. Well, maybe 15 now.
Yeah, come on.
well, Butch, you've seen me, right? I take off in the mornings, nil wind.
Yeah.
How long does it take for me to get off the ground on an
How
animator?
long ago?
Not
About
really.
15, about 10 to 15.
Yeah.
Now it used to take between 5 and 10, but now it's taking 10 to 15.
Yeah, I've gained a little weight. I
That's
never
way
want that. I never want that food to go to waste, but man, it always goes straight to my waist. So I need to stop that.
Hey, you doing good, man. Keep it up. You're doing good.
Hey,
I'm proud of
you said, Sean, that, but you really don't remember your first flight?
I there was a lot going on that first flight, right? Just like the first time that you drove a car, right? The first time you drove is like you got your brake, you got your gas. Sometimes you have the clutch, right? You got to look at both your mirrors. You got another mirror there. You got to have turn signals. It's like that first drive. It's like, man, there's just so much going on, and now you get into a car and I bet you go from your house to work and not even remember putting on your seatbelt or how hard you're putting your foot on the gas pedal. Same thing with me. Now that I've been flying for so long, I do my checks, I take off, I go fly, but it's like, it's just second nature to me now. So as far as my first flight, I don't remember.
I will not ever forget my first flight. Can't do that. I don't know. That's just something that just stuck in my brain.
I'm sorry. I don't mean not remembering my first flight. I'm talking about the instruction going back and forth.
Oh, okay.
From the instructor and what he told you to do and how you reacted. Not talking. I remember my first flight, not the instruction part. I'm sorry. I should have explained that a little bit more.
The funny thing about when I was flying, my first flight, I was with Kylo Glee, and he gets on the radio and he goes, "Now, Steve, if you hear me say kill it, I may not be talking about you. I have another pilot here on the ground." So he was like, if I say kill, I'm not talking to you. Thank God he said that.
My instruction sounded something like this: 14, 14, 14. That's all I heard the whole time. 14. The instructor's his radio is like stuck. When you change the channel, it would announce the channel over. That's all I heard. 14, 14.
14.
Am I 14 feet off the ground? What's going on?
Oh man, that was a panic moment.
No, my very first flight, I remember as soon as my feet left the ground, it was just like kind of took my breath away. That was just a fleeting moment, though. And then after that, it was just like it was a beautiful experience, no doubt. So I remember that well. So congratulations, Kevin. That was awesome.
Congratulations.
And you got a response, right? I did what you did. I planned it without getting out of my seat before. I know what that feels like.
Yep. Same here.
But I've only done it once.
Yeah, there you go.
Did Danielo talk about his first flight any?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Danielo, tell us about that first flight with that wing that you got off of eBay or whatever that was way too big. And that
it was Craigslist now. Come on, don't exergerate.
My first flight, I remember my first flight because it was so eventful. Like it was just so crazy. I told you, I self-trained for about 6 months, watching videos and asking questions and doing whatever I need to do to get my ground handling on point. I felt comfortable enough where I reached out to some pilots and can I come fly with you? And most of them were like, nope, you're not going to fly with us. You're self-trained and so on. And when I'll tell them I never had a flight, they're like, nope. And then so I'm like, okay, listen, I have to change the narrative. I have to say that I've flown at least once because it's not going to work. So I had this guy back then, didn't know him, Daniel. He's a Brazilian as well. So kind of maybe it helped. I was like, hey, I want to do my second flight. Are you down? He's like, yeah, come to Atascadero, which is very far. It's like a 4 hours drive from where I'm at. And I'm like, I have no clue. I don't know anything. I'm just like, okay, I'm coming. So I'm driving, and then I'll send you guys some videos of that actual flight and the location. Though when I say the location was crazy, I probably had 20 feet runway from each side. It was just like a cliff. The guy was living up a mountain. And there's like a small cliff, like a road pretty much to access. There's like 2 cars could like pass by. That's the LZ. And you take off one way or the other. I didn't know anything about crosswind back then. For me, it was just like bring the wing up into the wind and that's it. So into the wind means you have like 30 feet of runway and that's it. There's a drop. That's the reason why my takeoff was so good. because I ran out of space and I just dropped. And you drop, power is on, and it just dropped and whang, it took me up. And I could not believe I was flying at that point. He didn't know. Daniel didn't know it was my first flight. He had no clue. And for me, I knew. I was like, oh, shit. And I'm flying and I'm just doing circles, like full power on like the Minori 180, unclutched, so on. It was super sketchy. And then I'm flying back and forth. And as I'm coming by the other way, I kill my engine by mistake. Oh. And here, and I how do you can hear him? No, because I'm coming down. The mountain is like this, and I'm coming down against, about to crash in that mountain. So I just do a full flare. It was enough where I could stand. So it was like super soft dirt. So I just pretty much just kind of like landed on my feet and on my knees and on my hands, almost like face planted, but everything was fine. I was ready to go again. The gear was fine. I was just scared at first. I was like, okay, let's go again. So that was my first flight. And then my second flight, it was at El Mirage, which is it's a dry lake here in California. And if you know anything about flying in the dry lake in the desert, it's like, past sunrise when it's summertime, it's 100 degrees, 110. It's like, forget it. But I didn't know much about that. So I went there, show up at 8 a.m. trying to fly. And I have a video. My GoPro was recording. I took off at 11. And from 8 to 11, you can see me trying to do a forward launch, reverse launch, forward launch. The wind was already crappy. And I did take off and I have the video. That was my second flight all by myself. There was nobody around me. Nobody knew I was there. And as soon as I took off, the wind, it was like 11 a.m. So it was super strong wind by that time. But on the ground, it was pretty much dead wind. It would just gust for a minute and stop. And I had no clue what it meant. I just like, okay, I'm still good to go. Anyway, take off. And as soon as I take off, I'm literally flying backwards. And I see my car getting smaller and smaller. I'm being blown away into the desert. And I have the full video on YouTube. So I turn, go downwind, and I'm going super fast. And again, I have no clue. I don't know what's happening. I have no notion of like, at that point, I'm just like, whatever, completely clueless, not responsible. But again, it's like, I wouldn't do it again if I had to do it, to be honest with you on that part. So anyway, and every time I turn back into the wind, I'm completely parked, not moving. And I see my cars getting further and further. I'm like, I have to land. So I'm just letting go of the power and I'm going straight down like a helicopter. Because if I had any power, even 10%, I'm just climbing, not even moving an inch forward. So I'm just kind of let go of the power, touch down, pack my wing, leave my motor in the middle of the desert. I hike almost 2 hours, an hour and 45 minutes with my motor to my car. And I take my car, I have my old Jeep, and I drove to pick up my motor. I hiked with my wing and came back with the car to pick up my motor. From there on, I was like, okay, I have to learn a little bit more about weather. And then eventually that's how I started. But my first few flights, my first year of flying, I was flying by myself the entire year, every single flight. Everybody thought I was crazy. All my friends and family was like, nope, we're not coming. Like, this is completely stupid. Like, you're crazy. And then anybody that flown already, I was like, nope, you're self-trained. We don't want to fly with you. So it took a year for me to get really comfortable with my flying. And eventually I started posting videos online. And when they saw that my takeoff and landing were clean and I wasn't getting injured or so on, they're like, okay, fine, you can come fly with us. But it took that long, and it took YouTube videos for people to accept me as a potential, like a flying buddy. But yeah, it was, you don't know what you don't know. That's a very real thing. So that's why now with my school, I have a package for people that want to self-train. It's only $500, and I'll assist them throughout the entire process. So they don't have to show up to class, but I'll review whatever they want to review. I'll answer any question. I'll check in with them. I'll just make sure everything is, on their side, because, people like that, they really don't want to spend money. Number one, don't want to just set on that part. And they don't even want to show up. So I'm like, if they're not going to show up and you're not going to spend a lot of money, might as well try to give a little bit of help as much as I can. So I've had a few of them. And also I started working with Christian Curran. I don't know if you guys know him. He has made a website, and he shot a bunch of classes that I shot those classes for him, because I do videos as well. And it's a whole ground handling program where you learn everything, and they offer you rental gear. So you can rent a kiting wing, a glider, and now you can even rent a motor to do your training phase. So they get the first phase, the entire kiting section of Paramotor is handled by those online classes where you take those classes, get the gear at home. You just pay for your gear, and then they ship it to you, and you just practice. You send video. Christian will just FaceTime with you and review everything. And when you're ready, he's partnering with some schools, including myself. And he pretty much sends us students that are already way ahead of the game when it comes to kiting. And all we got to do is make sure everything is actually legit, that the guy already practiced all those things, has good control over, all the kiting aspect and so on. And then we'll just take care of everything else. But it just makes the course a lot faster because they already know everything about kiting. We talk about every aspect of, the ground handling itself during those online classes. So it's a good, it's a very good thing that I think he put together, and it's been he's been having a lot of students signing up for this package, for this this way of training, which is a new way and it's really helpful for some people. So there's a little bit of everything, but yeah, paramotor is such a fun thing. Never gets old.
That is so true. It never gets old, no matter how long you are flying. It just never. Well, not for me at least. I love it. It's like every day. It's talking about paramotor. How many? All right. Butch has been working with me also. We get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. We work until 9 or 10 o'clock at night. We don't turn on the TV. We don't turn on the radio. We just talk about paramotors. We just work. We teach. We're building the school. And I can't even imagine trying to have time to sit down and watch TV with all the talking and stuff that we do about paramotors. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, how many hours do we talk about paramotors, Butch?
As long as we're awake and we got our eyes open.
Probably talking your sleep, paramotor.
Probably. I know I
Probably.
woke up in the middle of the night. Doors are shut and locked. Trim's still leaving.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's something that I've never heard of. Danielle.
What's that?
What you were talking about, working with people who want to self-train, yet you should give them the option to, they have someone. And how do you do that? Is this like a long distance thing where they call you, or you videos, or are they working with your local, or what?
So to give you the two options, so what I offer in my school, so before they sign up for that $500 package, where it's like I'll assist them until their first flight. They can even come to class and so on. But so long story short, I have a phone call with them where I want to talk to them. If they're just like, yeah, I don't care, I just, I'm like, all right, this is not, I don't think I will try to kind of like explain to them that it's more than just that, right? If they have some common sense, they're like, okay, listen, I can afford this, or I work and whatever, but they have a better, they're more realistic. Then that's when it's really easy, because I'm like, okay, here's the plan. Here's what you have to do. I'll guide them through the gear purchase if they want, because most people that go that way, they want to buy used gear. I'm like, okay, this is what you need to look for. This is what you need to avoid. If you find something, send it to me. I'll see if I know the seller. I'll ask other people, other schools. Do you know the seller? So we kind of like help them throughout this entire thing, where they don't end up with like beat up gear or like completely unsafe, or like too advanced gliders and so on. I've had people showing up with warps, like 60-meter warps, and they're like 220 pounds. And they're yeah. I mean, I'm like, well, I don't think that's gonna be something you're gonna fly in the next, in the next year or so. Like, I don't know who sold you that. So, so we assist them through all that process. But then, then Christian came along after I started my school. He's like, hey, I want to put this program together. It's called Enthusiast Training. You can find him enthusiasttraining.com. And so the way he does, we shot a full ground handling course. We have 20 plus videos, and we talk about everything that is related to ground handling, the basic of PPG, the do and don'ts, and so on. So when you sign up for that program, you get with the whole signing up system, you get a glider that you're being given to for the entire the entire self-teaching program that you're signing up for. You get a glider, you get a kiting harness, and a helmet. And along with that, you get how to clip in, like very much all the basics you will learn in school. The same way you will learn out of school, you have those videos online available. They're all private. Obviously, they're all private link. They're not on YouTube because he turned this into a business. But he's been having so many students. And once you're done with the entire course with all those videos, they will refer you to the closest paramotor school that is the nearest, to you where you live. And then you link up with the instructor, let's say with me. I'm like, hey, I've done the course with Christian. I graduated from the course. I want to take the next step. So then we offer them a training option is going to be way cheaper, depending on which rating, where they got, where they ended up their whole course training, their online training. And so they save probably $2,000 in the entire thing. It just takes a longer time because they have to go through those videos. They have to record themselves after each steps that they're learning in those videos, they have to record themselves and send them to Christian. They have a one-on-one video Zoom call or FaceTime call, and they talk about what was good, what they need to, to work on, and so on. So they have this it's like an online training, but it's more targeted to people that either don't have the time to go places, or people that want to spend less money in training because they can't afford to just go full out. So we've been doing this. I just put it on our group right now, the website. So the goal is to have those people that cannot afford it, or that don't have the time, or that just have it's hard to say, but some people have just too much ego. They just want to be like, I want to do it myself and I don't want to have any help. At least they have those sort of tools where it's far from being as expensive. It's way cheaper, but it still have the same the same safety aspect when it comes to learning the sport. They don't put themselves in danger as much as they would if they didn't have any directions. So
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a plus. It's a plus.
It does, I mean, just the having somebody who knows the gear. If someone's going to buy used gear and they don't know anything about it, it's worth $500 just to have
Correct.
at your disposal, because you can make a big mistake, and it costs you thousands of dollars right off the bat before you even start.
And we see that all the time, right? On the forum, you see people like, oh, I just bought this gear before training, and then you're like, the Paramotors from 2000, like it's like super old, and the gliders has like, it's just like, I feel bad because then they try to sell it. I've had guys show up with like gliders that are like 15 years old, and or the harnesses. When you see a harness that has like those flashy yellow and green and pink, back you see the guy, you see the harness, like, oh my God. And then you look at the glider, you just know it's not good, and they can't even resell it, because nobody wants to buy. I'm like, how much did you pay for this? Oh, I paid like $3,000 for the whole package, was like the wing. And I'm like, oh, I feel, you feel bad, but you can't do anything about it. So, yeah, you're right. A little bit of guidance goes a long way. So I figure having that, it's a good, it's a good thing to support whoever, decide to go a different route instead of messing it up for everybody else,
Right.
Very interesting. Very interesting. It is 8:40 p.m. over here in Arkansas, Eastern Standard Time. No, Central Standard Time. Eastern is 1 hour more, which is what, 8:40 p.m. Am I doing this right?
9:40.
Was that 9:40?
9:40,
Yeah, too many time zones. So it's 8:41 Central Standard Time in Arkansas. And how much more time do I have with you, Danielo? Don't you got stuff to do?
I'm gonna have to feed my little monster in a little bit. She's gonna have to take her bath. No, we're still good on time. We're gonna go for a walk. We'll do our regular little scooter, little race around the neighborhood, and then food, shower, a little bit of we're watching Casper right now, so it's like a very exciting movie. Watching Casper, and then bedtime, ready for school tomorrow.
So how about this? How about we sign off with you so you can spend time with your family, and then we'll spin the spinning wheel after you're gone, and continue to talk about you and how awesome you are, and how you are looking younger and younger every time I see you.
There you go.
Man, knock it off, dude.
We'll see you next time. We'll see you next time. It's just the filters. It's the filters.
It's just the filters.
Thank you so much, Daniel. So appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys. I'm super, super grateful, that you guys invited me again. Super excited. Again, whenever you guys need anything, you have, you guys have my number. And if you don't, reach out. I'm sure I just, I love to connect with people anyway, So whenever you guys need, let me know.
Absolutely. So one more time, tell us a little bit about your school, how to get up with you, et cetera, real quick before you head on out.
Staybyparamotor.com for website and all the basic information. Staybyparamotor for the Instagram. Remember the Few project, the Puerto Rico Paramotor that's coming up. Puerto Rico Paramotor, that's the Instagram. On those platforms, you can find anything and everything. And like I say, even if you don't want to fly, if you just want to come and hang out with us, reach out. We're more than happy to kind of, show you guys what we do in general. And if you're a pilot and you want to come fly in Cali, reach out. I'm more than happy to take you. I will not tell you, but I will take you and show you around, and, have you fly or beautiful spots. Yeah, you know,
Hey,
that's
let's
about
go to Cali.
come on.
Well, let's go to Los Angeles. Just saying.
Yeah, we're gonna move over by Danielo.
Hey, whenever you guys are ready.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
All right,
Thank
buddy.
you so much.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much, everybody. Everybody have a good night.
Have a great
Good
night.
evening.
Have fun with the family tonight, buddy.
Oh, dude, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, guys. So now we're gonna be spinning the wheel again, the spinning wheel of winning things. We need to have some thumbs up. How many thumbs up and how many people are watching real quick?
We
think we
have
lost some
19
people.
thumbs up with 28 watching as well. Now we got 20 thumbs up, 27 watching.
Uh-oh. That's because
Come
Danielle just
on.
left us.
Yeah.
So we need a couple more likes, guys. That really super helps us.
Yes,
out
yes.
a lot with
Please
the
hit that like
matrix.
button. Like.
Absolutely. If everybody if everybody gave us little smiley faces in the super chat, that's really awesome too, because it shows that you know
Yes.
you guys are engaging with the
Yes.
show. So just give us some likes and give some thumbs up and smiley faces in the super chat. Let us know that you're there. And we definitely I saw something. I see smiley faces popping up. Oh, that's awesome. Guys, keep on doing that. See those little happy thing, little smiley face, little hearts, 100s. There we go. Pop them all. Oh, look at that go. That's awesome. I love that. It's I feel it. I feel it right here, guys. So much love, so much love. And then we find out it's Linda that's doing it all. Okay.
The other thing you failed to mention, Sean, is that if you give a thumbs up, it makes you 10% more likely to win on the spinning wheel. That's what.
Oh, I think that's right. Thumbs up and little hearts and little smiley faces gives you more of a chance of winning. I don't know if that's true or not, but if Will says it, it must
what I heard.
be true.
Read it on the internet.
There you go.
Yeah, if you see it on the internet, it must be true.
Steve Kennedy. That looks like a new name to go on the wheel.
He is on there.
Oh, okay, good.
No, I mean, I just did it, so thank you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, excellent.
All right. Welcome.
Gary Symons. What's up, guys?
So appreciate my chatters. You guys are awesome. Thank you
This was a
so
great
much.
show. Great show tonight.
Really great show. And so just so you guys know that Danielo is sending me all of that stuff to me. So it's going to take a while to get to me. And
Yes.
then
Don't lose it,
I
Grandpa.
have to
Don't
send it
lose that
out
stuff.
to you. If we owe you stickers or something you haven't got in a while, please text me 501-747-3558. I'm the one that needs to send them out. So if you don't get them, something's going up. You haven't got them. Pony Express didn't make it to your house. Please text me and we'll send you out some more stuff, etc. We'll make sure that you get these things.
Yes.
So please text me.
Yeah, Butch,
also,
remind Grandpa, don't let him lose the stuff, the prizes, Butch. Okay.
I think I'm going to give this to Butch, and this is going to be Butch's
Sure
job.
that he puts it away where he can find it for the next show.
Yeah. Butch is going to be the guy that's going to be in charge of this. I'm done with this, so
look at his. Oh, see, Butch, I knew it.
Yeah,
See?
Butch, it's you now. You're going to be giving out all the stuff for the spinning wheel of winning things.
Because I know you can do it, Butch. I have faith in you.
Yeah, people don't have faith in the grandpa no more. It's like I just can't get those darn things out, the stickers out. If I do, something goes wrong with the Pony Express.
Hey, what?
Okay. What?
Hey.
Nothing.
What?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. All right. So Linda, go ahead and give everybody a shout out again after the spinning wheel. We're gonna say goodbye to everybody and call it a night. 2-hour shows.
Oh.
That's not our normal thing. We usually do 1-hour shows. These 2-hour shows are just so abnormal for us.
Yeah. It was an anomaly tonight.
Yeah, it's an
So
anomaly.
fun. Oh, you want me to go through the names again?
Sure. Go ahead and say hi to everybody.
Okay. We got John Wayne, Angela Preslick, Dewey Milstead, Kramer, Kevin Houston, Zach Gannon, 2 Feet in a Heartbeat, Candace Adams, Bankrupt, Hope J, Cliffy V, Scott and Angie Garland, Munchkin, Fly Baby Fly, still in the house, Joe Adele, Parent Ninja, Daniel Rush, Lucas News, CT Fly, Walter Peoria from Australia, Flying Flamingo Jade, my lovely. We got James, Chris Lockley, Bill H, my fave, Mad Sloper, what's up? Marcos Franco and the Angry Rodin in the
And
house
555.
tonight.
Just because she's
Whoop,
cute.
whoop.
And also would like to add one more name. We also stream live audio to our Podbean. And Ashina is in the house, Ashena. So glad that you've been here. You've been here for a while. We're going to put you on the spinning wheel of winning things. Ashena has joined the room and been listening to us on Podbean, our live stream, our audio live stream. We're going to try to also in the future stream this to multiple places, audio and video, in real time, and allowing it to go on PPG Grandpa's Paramotor podcast, the audio version. So if you want to learn more about this, check out PPG Grandpa's Paramotor podcast, any of your favorite podcasting apps. We even are on Amazon Music, on Amazon itself, Audible, all your Spotify, everything you can possibly think of. Just do a Google search, or even ask Alexa, play PPG Grandpa's Paramotor podcast. Or, hey Siri, play PPG Grandpa's Paramotor podcast.
There you go.
Yeah,
It will
everybody's
play.
house
There
is
goes
playing it.
Yeah. That's
Thanks.
one way to get views or listens. I guess.
Right.
Yeah, what's Google? Is it Hey Google? Hey Google, play PPG Grandpa's Paramotor podcast.
Oh man.
You can watch us all over the world.
I was
We're like
waiting
all
for
over the-
Will to hit shuffle while Paramom was reading the list.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, I probably should have, but I got something to share. A little birdie told me that, you know Tony Marzano, you know that guy?
That guy
yeah,
that
he
wins
sounds
all the
familiar.
time because this is rigged. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's like, wow. Anyways, the little birdie told me that he was so excited he jumped up and hit his knee on the table in excitement because he won.
Oh,
Good for
Oh,
you,
no.
Tony, man. It's nice
Now
to
it-
be excited.
Now he can't fly tomorrow. His knee's gonna hurt. He's gonna be like, well, but I won a stay bad hat. So
oh, that hurt.
All right,
I
so
don't
let me
Oh, it's
shuffle.
worse, the knee or the toe.
shuffle. So after this, guys, we're gonna call it a night. We're gonna say good night to everybody. So once again, if you can give us thumbs up or smiley faces in the super chat, say it was a great show, whatever it is. It really helps our metrics as far as
We're
getting
gonna have
people to
Larry
watch
Schumer.
us. As far as listening to us, we have at least 1,000 people that listen to us each week, sometimes even more. We've had over 2,000 or 3,000 people watch or listen to us on PPG Grandpa's Paramotor podcast
That's
in 1
cool.
week. So
That's
make
cool.
sure you subscribe to PPG Grandpa's Paramotor podcast. All right, here we go. Munchkin, nope. Copay, nope. James, Cliffy V, Lucas, Kevin
Nope.
Houston,
No.
Who's gonna be
Marcos,
Conway
no.
or Flying
555.
Flamingo? I don't know.
Conway.
Steve Kennedy.
Steve Kennedy.
Wayne. Woot.
Oh,
Tom
Jeff-
Wayne. All right.
Is it, or is it
Oh,
Steve
Oh, it's Steve
Kennedy?
Kennedy.
Oh my gosh, it's Steve Kennedy. Woo!
That's
Flying
cool.
Flamingo and Chris was like, oh no, Steve.
Winner,
let
winner,
me write this
Steve
down.
Kennedy.
Let me write this down.
Congratulations.
All right, Steve, you have won something from Stay Bad. Ashina, I know that you are listening to us on the Podbean stream. You can always text us or go over to paramotorarkansas.com. We have free stickers there. So if you go to paramotorarkansas.com, we'll send you out free stickers, even though you didn't win something on this. Steve Kennedy, you are a winner. Make sure you text me 501-747-3558 and give me your address so I can send out your winner chicken dinner. If you don't remember that, or you don't have your pen out, or you're driving, you can always go over to paramotorarkansas.com and text us that way, or runintothesky.org. Thank you.
Thank you, chatters. So appreciate you tonight.
All right.
Hey guys, real quick, we have next week, we're gonna have Larry Schumer in the house. So
Excellent.
I'm pretty excited about that. He is on Facebook, and I'm gonna get up with him this week and get that all squared away. He was gonna be on our show a while back, like way while back, and then something came up. I think he was really sick or something happened. And so he is going to be, so I wanted to get him back on the show.
Good.
So
Okay,
I'll keep you
excellent.
guys posted. Yeah, he seems like a really cool guy. He's got some videos on Facebook a lot or whatever. I see a lot of his videos. So there you go. And that's it. And if you want to be a guest on my show, ParamotoringUSA.com, take you right to my Facebook page and say, I want to be a guest on your show because my November is ready for you. Okay. So you guys, girls, let me know. Just get up with me.
Absolutely.
Any of you, you got somebody you want to, tell your friends and say, hey, I want this one on the show. And we'll get it all set up.
Absolutely. It's her show. It's not my show. Who the hell is that PPG grandpa guy that's always on Linda's show? I don't know. Some crazy guy, some old man or whatever.
Don't
I had a
forget
really
about
good
Northern
time
Lights
again.
Promoters.
Really good time again. I love listening to other instructors, other pilots, other people that have a lot of experience. The more experience, the better. I always learn something. And if you don't learn something every day, what are you doing? Just walking around existing? Come on, get off your computer, stop doing this stuff and get out there and enjoy it. A lot of things that I like to do is be part of the sport, right? I mean, why watch TV and watch somebody do a sport when you can get up there and fly and be part of a sport, especially with like something like this. Scuba Steve, you got something going on Fridays. You have your own podcast. Tell us a little bit about that, please, sir.
Yeah, every Friday, 8 to
Is he
10
on
Eastern
mute?
Standard Time. Am I on mute?
There you go.
Oh, no, I wasn't on mute.
Oh, well, we couldn't hear you.
Blah, 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 blah.
We hear the blah, blah, blah. Is that a vampire? Blah, blah, blah.
Hey, it's that time. Yeah, every Friday, 8 to 10 Eastern Standard Time, I do a show on YouTube. You can go to paramotordude.com. That'll take you straight over my YouTube channel, or you can look up Scuba Vapes. That's the easiest way. But yeah, we talk about vaping to get off cigarettes and also a lot about paramotors because it happens every time. Or it could be just something random, which I do a lot also. Just random stuff. But we have a good time.
And that's every Friday?
Every Friday, 8 to 10 Eastern Standard Time.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Be there or be square. Matter of fact, if you go over there and you go to paramotordude.com, hit subscribe. If you hit that bell notification, he might actually say hello to you as a new subscriber.
There you go.
There you go. I forgot to shout out for Robert's show on Thursday night. Sorry, Robert. Paraglidingtalk.com on Thursday nights. My son, Robert Michaels, hosts the show, and we always have a really good time. Will Fly always jumps in the chat, and I got a lot of my gals and guys that come and visit us every Thursday. So be sure to check it out. And I always say my shout out to my buddy Erik in the picture there, and it's Northern Lights Paramotor LLC. They got me up in the air 2 times already, my 2 tandems, and I so appreciate both of them, Jade and Erik there. Thank you very much. That's it.
We're watching your football game in the right-hand side of your screen.
I know. I got my kitty's on the floor here, and she's wanting to play, so I'm like, I don't want to knock my back screen down, so I'm trying to keep her entertained for a couple minutes. Yeah, got my TV going.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for everything you do. You're also part of Run to the Sky, the nonprofit. You're the PR girl over at runtothesky.org. It's a nonprofit organization to help disabled people, disabled veterans run into the sky. Matter of fact, Butch Fly is our first candidate that has gone through, and not only has he gone through, but he's helped us out. He's helping building the school so other disabled people and veterans can go through the school. And he's also now the director of operations. So, man, you've really moved up, haven't you, buddy?
Oh yeah, I can feel it all the way up my backbone.
So you moved all the way over from Alabama over here so you could fly, so you can help me out. And I tell you, dude, I know that you were like 500 pounds before you got here and you lost so much weight. because you've been working nonstop. Not really. Look at those guns. Woo!
No, that was the toothpicks. I need a sandwich.
And he's been helping me out, working from 4 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, every single night except for podcast night. And I couldn't do this without you, buddy. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely.
And enjoy it. I enjoy it. I love to get back. And I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. And if you want to check out any of my stuff, check out ppgbutch.com, or you can look up Fly Butch Fly on YouTube and subscribe, please.
There you go. Subscribe and hit that bell notification. So have you been posting anything on your channel, dude?
Yeah, I have a little bit, but not a lot. I've been posting a couple videos here and there.
All right. Well, once again, Butch, big shout out to you. Thank you so much for everything you do for this. Big shout out to Chris Lockley for helping us out, building the school and, securing the field and helping us with everything that he does. Wouldn't be able to do without you, buddy. Thank you so much, Chris. We also got some Kevin Houston in the house, Kevin from Mississippi. So tell us a bit about, you had your first flight. Tell us about your first flight real quick and how you enjoyed it, and can't wait to get back over here to Paramotor, Arkansas.
Yeah, I wish I lived closer and didn't have my weekends filled up with football season right now. Because that takes my weekends from working. Next day off, or weekend off, will be November 10th through 12th. So hopefully I'll be back in Arkansas then. Enjoyed my first flight. It's unexplainable. Ready to get back and do it again. I'm not gonna say that I'm dreaming about it, but I do have this feeling when I'm sitting or something that for some reason, you know how when you go over a hill and you lose your stomach, I could just be standing and it feels like that I'm just falling out of the sky for some reason. But
don't fall out of the sky, run into the sky.
I know. It's a weird feeling, but it's awesome. I love it. So
I'm glad that you did it. We still got your jacket over here, so you got to come back, or else I'm going to be wearing your jacket.
All right.
You're going to be doing a lot of the dreaming about flying stuff. The more you do it, the more you're going to think about it. Like next time, maybe I want to bring my wing up this way or do this differently. You'll get your own habits and patterns going. I mean, but obviously from the good patterns you've already learned from Sean. But yeah, you'll get it done.
Well, I'm excited to get back. Very excited.
I am too. And just so you know, this guy has gone over and beyond. He's helped us working on the school. Also, he's rebuilt some carburetors for us. I mean, he's working hard in the background also. It's like instead of training, he's like, let me help you build the school. And I'm like, dude, no, go fly and go do this. No, let me help you out. So thumbs up to you, sir. Thank you so much for everything you've done.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
We also got an update on the shed progress. Well, I think Butch has got the bathroom built. He's director of toilet operations. He's got
yes, sir. Yeah.
Director of scrubbing toilets.
Oh Lord. I was just gonna say something. Steve, you're such a good mentor to Kevin. And then you then you start talking
I'm
toilet.
excited for him. That's the thing, I get excited seeing pilots take their first flight and stuff, because I remember it, and I know they do. Butch, I'm sure, remembers his first flight as well as Kevin will. It's just something that sticks with you, and there's nothing like it. It's just like Kevin said, there's nothing like it. So
just like when I see people go up and when I went to these fly-ins and see people going up for the first time. Yeah, you feel their excitement when they get in do their first tandem with somebody. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
All the emotions come up. I mean, it takes a minute, but all them emotions just come surfacing up. Because most guys, when they were kids, grabbed their mom's towels and clothespin, put it around and jump off the couch or something, act like Superman. Well, now you can actually do it.
Right.
Oh, that's funny.
I tried to take off with a coat before. I was like, it's pretty windy.
Exactly.
I think my coat's big enough. I would try to jump in the air.
I know I'm not the only guy that jumped off the house with the sheet,
Yeah. I think we've all done that. Yeah, for sure.
I love this.
They're landing in the bushes and getting whooped over it, but
Uh-huh.
Don't
Yeah.
want to do that. Now,
Oh,
Man, I
Very
look so
cool.
black in
And we-
this. That's
and
crazy.
we can't forget Mr. Will Fly. Will Fly, he does so much for us too, not only for us here on the podcast where he does the spinning wheel, and that's a lot of work. I mean, he's checking that out. He's looking at the super chat so he can let us know that there's someone that is asking questions. He also is working tirelessly on the board for runtothesky.org, the nonprofit to help people run into the sky. And we just can't thank you enough, Will Fly, for all the stuff that you do. Thank you so much, my friend. Tell us a little bit about your channel now and just the tip and all the fun stuff that you get to do.
Yeah, man. I just love flying paramotors and making videos about it. And so I try to mix a little corny humor with some education. And if you want to check it out, you can find me on YouTube, search for Will Fly, or just go to willflyppg.com. It'll take you right to my channel.
willflyppg.com. If you haven't gone there, make sure you go there, hit that subscribe button, and of course that bell notification, because he puts out some really cool stuff, man. I enjoy his stuff. I don't know how you do it. You know what? I need you to help me with Run to the Sky in Paramotor, Arkansas, because you do such a good job, man.
Well, thank you.
I mean,
no.
He could make an awesome little animation of some dude running into the sky. I'm sure Will could. He's got all that video stuff down.
yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. But you know, if you hire him, you won't see his work until about 3 or 4 months later. So you know
That's
that.
exactly right. That is
Exactly.
exactly right.
Yeah, good
I mean,
stuff
you know,
takes time, right?
It does. I mean,
Well,
we
it's
put
not
the work-
that. It's just I do it until I'm not enjoying it anymore, and then I
Yeah.
stop. You
Yeah.
know?
And I think
I appreciate all of you. And like I always say, you know, it takes a village. And you guys, you know, I love my Mondays with y'all, and it just yeah. I just every show I learn something, and you have sometimes you have you know, you meet a new friend in the flying, and they meet new friends, and that's what it's all about, you know, the para family. And
absolutely.
so appreciate all of you.
We got Tony Marzano that's already texted me. Steve, you texted me. Thank you. Candace, I haven't heard from Candace. So Candace Adams, if you come back and listen to this, you did win something. Make sure you get up with me so I can send you out your prize. Now, remember, guys, if you got prizes from me, it's going to take a little bit. Danielle is sending me a box. And then once you get the box, I'm going to give it to Butch. And Butch is then going to send out all the stuff to you guys. If you are missing any stickers or anything from me, get up with Butch Fly. He's now the director of stuff that Grandpa forgot to send out.
Now, Butch, you are now the post office.
Oh,
You know that.
Hey, Butch, I've been waiting for my
Postmaster.
stickers for 6 months.
okay. Yeah. Get them right to you.
You're
They're
the
in the
post
mail.
Stupid, you slipped that thing on me, didn't you, buddy? Director of crap and all that.
Linda, I really appreciate you waving to us the whole show.
I know. All I see is this right here.
I think she did that for our thumbnail too. She kind of leaned back and it was like perfect with the hand.
Yeah.
You know,
then, of
you
course,
lean,
put her
yeah,
hand
you
up
lean.
and then-
Well, you're trying too hard now.
Yeah.
I know. I just love how that picture came out. I thought it'd be, you know, it was perfect from the background. I got to get a few more. Like I said, I got this one to go to Zoom, but I don't remember how I did it, how I even got it there. It's supposed to be easy, but you know me, I get around, start navigating the computer. I'm like, you ever do that? You know, you do it once and you're like, now I don't remember how I got that picture there. So figure it out.
And poor Will, we said that, hey, we're gonna be done at 8:30, you know, no problem. Then you can go. And here he is, you know, 2 hours plus into this. So Will, thank you. You could have left at any time, but you decided to stay here and hang with us. So we appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
All right, guys, if there's nothing else, we'll head on out. So anything else before we go? Any final words or thoughts?
Thank you, Sean, for
Yep.
hosting all of it.
My
There
pleasure.
you go.
My
Fly
pleasure.
safe and D-bad. There we go.
There we go. We
Stay
couldn't do
safe
it
and be
without
bad.
you. So
Right.
Thank you so much. And like I said, thank you guys. This was fun.
Yep.
So everybody fly safe and all that good stuff. The weather's crappy here, so I don't think my Michiganders are going to be doing much flying. A lot of them already are packing up and they're heading for Florida for the winter, start their flying. So, yeah.
Yep. In case you guys are wondering what DBAD stands for, it stands for Don't Be a Dum Dum.
There you go.
But you can use that D in any way that you want to. You can call it a dum dum, a dunce. It's the same thing.
Don't be dumb now.
Don't be a dum
We'll
dum.
see y'all on Thursday then on our paraglidingtalk.com.
Absolutely. And Wednesday, or is Wednesday still going too, as far as
He
paramotorgirl.com?
is skipping this week. This week
skipping this
there's no
week.
show. Yep.
Okay. All right.
We
Well,
will
you
see
guys
Scuba on Friday.
definitely need to go see Scoop on Friday over at
Yes.
Paramotor Oh, which reminds me, we got some .coms that we're going to be giving away. We got some more .coms that we're going to be giving away. Butch, remind me, because I can't remember nothing. I'm just Butch remembers everything. He has a memory like
He's
Elephant.
sweating now.
Where does he put it? I mean, he's got no room to remember all this stuff.
It's under the hat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, damn, he looks like Bubba off of friggin' Jeff Dunham.
There you go.
Bubba J.
Bubba J.
I love
Yeah,
Bubba
Bubba J,
J.
there you go.
I love
right.
Bubba J. Oh my God, that's
uncanny.
hilarious.
Oh, I
Jeff
finished
Dunham,
her
check this out.
crying.
We got Bubba J right here in the house.
That's
Wow.
funny.
That is
That
awesome.
is funny.
All right. Man, you guys are awesome. Once again,
Yay.
thank you so much. My name is Sean Symons. I'm also known as PPG Grandpa. You can find me at ppggrandpa.com. I fly paramotors.com, but I'm always over at runtothesky.org and paramotorarkansas.com. Hope to see you guys there. And if you want to run, make sure you run into the sky.org. Y'all have a great evening, and we'll see you next week here on PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast.
Much love.
Much love. Peace out, y'all.
Yes.
Oh, look, I still got what you guys know what this is offhand, right? Bad apples.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.